One of the things that we're trying to work on is getting voting back here where it belongs, not at North Shore Community College, where many people cannot make it because they are either elderly or they do not have a vehicle. So we want voting here where it belongs, in our neighborhood. Another thing that we're working is to get a resource officer in the school. I'm a teacher and I work at Bree Middle School. And I know that a resource teacher helps a lot. It lets us know what's going on in the streets. It helps us with solving crimes. So we need one here at this school to make sure that everyone is safe and we can get rid of those elements that are not safe for our children. Another thing that we're working on is rats. You've seen it. I've seen it. Running down the street back and forth in my backyard. So we're trying to get rats, that rat issue under control. So that's another thing that we're working on. So, and let's see, the last thing that we're working on is the coalition, just to come together as neighbors to help one another, because I know that I used to clean by myself every week, and I tried this on my own. I tried to get my neighbors to clean, and there will be 5 neighbors who showed up, but it was only me. Like David was saying, we can't just take care of ourselves, we have to take care of each other. And with this coalition, we're all working together.
I've been part of this neighborhood for about 40 years now, and it's really wonderful to see so many people coming together and more people coming around these days now and cleaning up the fronts of their areas. People are talking about it and people are more aware of it. And I see the group getting bigger and bigger and more people willing to get involved.
Good morning, my name is Trang Lee. I'm from SEI Lynn, which is Social Capital Inc., and we're in partnership with the Lynn Health Division. And we are concerned with the quality of life, which is why I had written a letter to support David Gass and the Highlands Coalition of getting more trees here so that we have better quality of life, environmental issues, and I'm glad that everybody took the time to come out to plant a tree to show that they do care about their neighborhoods.
I think it was from five years ago, and it was because we need to work with the neighborhood.
It takes a neighborhood to raise a tree, and this is literally what we're all about, because once these, look, why aren't there trees here in every spot? They're missing because people didn't watch them and they were ripped apart and they died. So what we're trying to do is to bring the community together to protect these trees and protect each other.
When David applied for the grant for these trees from the DCR, he had no idea he would be getting the largest grant in the Commonwealth this year. So once he got them, once he got the grant for those trees, he did the math, he figured out, gee, I can get 50 some odd trees. The city let us use the park department and the DPW to dig the holes, enlarge some of the sidewalk spaces that weren't big enough. They came with soil, jackhammers, augers. We put them together. We've also understand that we're on the edge of a drought right now. And in any time, a fresh tree needs to be watered dutifully every week, 6 or more gallons per week for the first 2 growing seasons until the root systems establish themselves. This is especially critical in sidewalk trees, because even when it rains, there's only a few square feet that collect the water to run down to those roots. But like a suckling babies, we have our trees with black 4-inch irrigation tubes that go down to the roots. We've also got a program, and so far, almost 100% of the people we've knocked on the door and asked, would you adopt the tree in front of your house? They've said yes. If they don't have a hose, just a couple of old milk jugs filled with water, every 2 to 3 days down the hole. That's all they need.
The big inspiration for us in building this group comes right from the school, and we have a wonderful principal, Dr. Claire Crane, who has fought for, I think, 18 years she's been here, and has turned this neighborhood around during the tough times in Lynn, when Lynn was lost tens of thousands of good jobs.
18 years ago, 1989, when I first came here, and it was a school that nobody wanted to be at. Nobody wanted to be there. The kids didn't want to be there. Teachers. Now it's one of your, I have to announce, it's one of your top schools in the United States. I just came back from NASA, and they've asked us to become a model for the NASA programs. This tree is for one of our lunch aides who got killed tragically up on Highland Avenue. A car hit her. She was coming from the doctors. It's Midge Alwyn. We've ordered a bench with her name engraved on it. So I thought it would be nice if we had a nice shady tree for the kids, and then we had a bench for the kids to sit on, because there's a school that's open 7 in the morning till 9 at night, most of the nights. Thank you, David, and continue the great work, because we're doing a lot of great things up here.
This grant is from the Department of Conservation and Recreation. It's a partnership grant. It's a 50-50 partnership grant. And our partner in this effort was the city of Lynn, and Chip Clancy has done a tremendous amount. He's given us money out of his own pocket. No, not out of his own pocket, but he's given us $1,000, and also has opened doors to the DPW, which did an amazing job. If you look at this hole, there's 12 inches of concrete in there. Jimmy Barr, who's not here, and his crew, they have some funerals to attend to, and but he's worked for 2 weeks and 1 more week left to go. He's done amazing things with us. And Charlie and his crew, the street crew, cutting these holes. There's a lot of hard work in a hot sun. Councilor Crowley has come to our meetings. He's been supportive all the way through.
I'm here to support you folks. Nobody wants to listen to a politician, right, Chip?
Right. Okay, no politicians. The only time you really see a ceremony where you're throwing dirt in the ground is at a funeral, of course. But this is a birth. And it's a rebirth, and it's a symbol of it. So I want to start with something, and my wife told me this. She said, when I was in school in the 50s, I had to learn a poem called Trees by Joyce Kilmer. You know, and we have 2 people who are going to read this poem. Come over here. Want to come over? Javier Calderon translated this. It was Javier into Spanish, and his son is going to read this. And he's going to read it very slowly. It's not rap, because it's a short poem, you know. But here's tell your name, Andres.
My name is Andres Calderon, and I'm going to read you a poem about trees.
So they can hear better.
Pienso que nunca veré un poema encantador como un árbol cuya boca hambrienta es presionada contra el pecho suelto dulce de la tierra. Un árbol que mira a Dios todo el día y levanta sus ramas frondosas para rezar. Un árbol que en mayo viste de verano una jerarquía de petirrojos en su pelo, sobre cuyo pecho la nieve descansa, quien íntimamente vive con la lluvia. Los poemas son hechos por tontos como yo, pero solo Dios puede hacer un árbol.
Trees. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry melt is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breath. A tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
Our next speaker is a very special guest from Somerville who is known internationally for his poetry. Lloyd Schwartz is the author of 2 books of poetry, Goodnight Gracie and the more recent Cairo Traffic. Lloyd is a professor of English at the University of Massachusetts and is the classical music critic each Thursday in the Boston Phoenix.
Leaves. Red, yellow, orange, brown, russet, ochre, vermilion, gold. Flame and rust. Flame and rust. The permutations of burning. You're on fire. Your eyes are on fire. It won't last. You don't want it to last. You can't stand anymore. But you don't want it to stop. It's what you've come for. It's what you'll come back for. It won't stay with you, but you'll remember that it felt like nothing else you felt, or something you felt that also didn't last.
Father God, we thank you for allowing us to come to hear this place on this beautiful Saturday morning. We thank you for the gathering of the people. And God, as we come here, we ask for your blessings. Nothing can be successful without you.